Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Justin Barry. I'm going to be the Master of Ceremonies for this program today. Today we come together to recognize the bravery, selflessness, and dedication shown during the serious fire in this courthouse, Brooklyn Criminal Court, on the afternoon of May 10th, 2017. While we recognize the individual actions of 8 court officers and 2 of our managers, just as importantly, we recognize the dedication, decisive actions of all the men and women who work in this courthouse. These actions prevented serious harm to life and property and permitted us to reopen the courthouse, continue to provide justice for the people of this city within hours of an event, despite the seriousness of what occurred. We are honored to have Chief Judge Janet DeFiore, Chief Administrative Judge Lawrence Marks, Administrative Judge Melissa Jackson, Supervising Judge Michael Yavinsky, Chief Michael Magliano, and Chief Michael Sinise here to recognize our brave and dedicated employees. We're also very honored to have here today Chief of Staff, Chief of Administration John George, Chief of Operations Barry Clark, Chief Clerk Danny Alessandrino, Supreme Court Administrative Judge Matthew Demick, our Facilities Manager Tom Latito, Chief Joe Basileri, the President of the New York State Court Officers Association, Dennis Quirk, the President of the New York State Supreme Court Court Officers Association, Pat Cullen, the judges of Brooklyn Criminal Court, thank you for being here, and our extraordinary staff. We celebrate you here today. Now, to get the ceremony started, please rise for the presentation of the colors by the New York State Court's Ceremonial Unit and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Chief Michael Sinise.
Ready? Face. Reset. Arm.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. And thank you very much to the Ceremonial Unit and Greg McCann for that wonderful rendition of our national anthem. To start the presentation, I'd like to invite Supervising Judge Michael Yavinsky, who will welcome you to this beautiful courthouse.
Chief Judge DiFiore, Chief Administrative Judge Marks, Administrative Judges Jackson and Demick, Chiefs Magliano, Basaleri, and Sinise, distinguished friends and family of Brooklyn Criminal Court, welcome. To everyone who's taken time out of your busy day today, thank you. Thank you very much. We are so thankful to have you here to join us in honoring the heroism that was on full display during the afternoon of May 10th, when we had an unfortunate fire here on our 6th floor. It was a real fire, and it was scary. But our personnel did what they always do. They sprang into action to make sure everyone was kept safe. We regularly conduct business at a frenetic pace in Brooklyn Criminal Court. Arraignments is always firing on all cylinders. We have exceptionally robust specialty parts of all shapes and sizes. And we are executing the vision of the Excellence Initiative to a point where we have our backlog of old cases down to historic lows. And as exciting as all of that is, a big part of how and why we can do that is the fact that day in and day out, our court family and local court users can reliably come into this building and conduct their business without a second thought for their safety. They don't have to be concerned about their safety in Brooklyn Criminal Court because of the unsung heroes who keep us safe here every single day. We never take it for granted, but we have come to expect great things from our security team here at Brooklyn Criminal Court. It means a lot to have all of you here today to celebrate their amazing work that often goes unnoticed in the hustle and bustle of everyday court life. It is tremendous that we will be hearing the names of some of those otherwise unsung heroes that are receiving citations today. John, Joe, Tommy, Shaq, and Darian, Tony, Tommy, Eddie, Tony, and Kenny are all special people who did special things on that day. There were also many other people who did special things on that day that will go unnamed, but also acted with tremendous bravery and were part of the collective effort that got the job done on May 10th. I want everyone involved that day to know, whether your name is called or not, that each of your individual efforts on the day of the fire and every day here in Brooklyn Criminal Court are both noticed and appreciated. And to every one of you, whether your name is called or not, I want to say with complete admiration and sincerity, thank you. You all make us very proud on a regular basis here at Brooklyn Criminal Court. Now, before I turn it back to Justin, I want to recognize a few people who have worked behind the scenes to make today's celebration possible. If you wouldn't mind joining me with another round of applause for Captain James Campbell and the Ceremonial Unit, who are impressive every time they show up for an event. I also have to take a moment to thank Andrew Towns and his local DCAS staff, who polished up the lobby to look its absolute best for today's festivities. I also have to take a moment to thank my team here at Brooklyn Criminal Court, Kenny, James, but a special thank you, Rob Olinsky, absolutely, and a special thank you to Kathy Savage, Michelle Fratto, John Quigley, and Gloria Baguette. But finally, I have to thank from the bottom of my heart Lucian Chalfin, who spearheaded this whole event and took it from a nice idea to actually happening here today. So Lucian, thank you. And thank you to everyone. And again, welcome to Brooklyn Criminal Court, and thank you for being here today.
To add her own remarks and welcome to our courthouse, I'd invite the Honorable Melissa Jackson, the Administrative Judge Criminal Court, to come up to the podium and also introduce our keynote speaker, Chief Administrative Judge Lawrence Marks. Judge Jackson.
Well, thank you, Justin. Let us look around here. I'm looking at everybody that's assembled, the audience, the public, so many members here of our court staff, the dignitaries, the celebrated dignitaries that are here, that are present to speak today. And why are we here? Well, we are here to thank and commend the 10 criminal court employees who displayed qualities that are best revealed through action, just as Judge Yavinsky said, through action. And what are those qualities? Quick thinking and courage. And we all know that you're either born with those qualities or you're not. And today, we're here to honor those who indeed possess those qualities. On that day, barely a month ago, in May, these 10 individuals risked their lives to help the public and their fellow colleagues, court employees, escape a burning courthouse. Now just think about that. Now nobody ordered them to do it. Nobody told them, you have to get up there and risk your lives, go up there to the 6th floor, knock out the windows, evacuate everybody out of the building. They just did it. They had courage and quick thinking. It has always been an honor for me to serve as your administrative judge of this great criminal court, but it has never been more so for me than today. And so it is with great respect and with pleasure that I now introduce the Chief Administrative Judge of the State of New York, Lawrence Mark, for his remarks and thoughts about today's proceedings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge Jackson, and it's really great to be here with all of you this afternoon. And it's with great pride that we recognize the court officers and clerk's office staff who several weeks ago rushed to the scene and assisted in the prompt evacuation of this court when this serious fire broke out on the 6th floor. The fire, which started around 4 p.m. on Wednesday, May 10th, was so intense that it blew out several windows and sent flames and smoke billowing. Because of the decisive actions of these 10 highly skilled, well-trained court employees, everyone was safely removed from the building. These employees risked their own safety to such an extent that they suffered from smoke inhalation. 7 had to be transported to the hospital, while 2 others received medical treatment on the scene. We are extremely pleased that all are doing well and with us here today. On behalf of Chief Judge DiFiore, Administrative Judge Jackson, Supervising Judge Yavinsky, Chief Clerk Barry, Chief Magliano, and the entire Unified Court System family, I extend our heartfelt appreciation to these selfless individuals who put themselves in harm's way to protect the safety of the public, the judges, and the court staff of the Kings County Criminal Court. And remarkably, the court was able to hold arraignments that very evening, with the building, except for the 6th floor, fully operational the next morning. Our 10 honorees played a critical part in averting what could have been a real tragedy. I would like to single out each of these individuals by name. First Deputy Chief Clerk Antonio Diaz, Borough Chief Clerk Kenneth Fay, Sergeant John Hart, Sergeant Joseph Scafidi, Court Officer Thomas Cirola, Court Officer Darian Wagner, Court Officer Anthony Morgan, Court Officer Shaquan Gardner, Court Officer Thomas Hickey, and Court Officer Edward Rossiello. I also commend all the outstanding men and women of Kings County Criminal Court for the admirable way in which they responded to this very serious incident, as well as the Department of Citywide Administrative Services and Office of Court Administration staff who worked late into the night to ensure that the 6th floor was made safe and secure and that any disruption to court operations was minimized. We are extremely proud of and grateful to all of you. Thank you.
And now I'd like to invite Lieutenant Rob Olinsky and Chief Michael Sinise to come up here and stand by this citation. and we are extremely honored to have Chief Judge Janet DeFiore here to present the unit citation to this great courthouse.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, and it is indeed my privilege to have been invited to read the proclamation, which is really an expression of our heartfelt appreciation for the service of our court officers and clerks, particularly on that day, May 10th. And this beautiful proclamation reads as follows. In recognition of the brave and decisive actions of court officers and court clerks in response to a fire at the Kings County Criminal Court. Whereas on May 10th, 2017 at 4:06 p.m., a high-rise building fire broke out on the 6th floor of the Kings County Criminal Court at 120 Skirmahorn Street. Whereas court officers and members of the clerk's office rushed to the scene and assisted in the prompt evacuation of the 6th floor. Whereas the responding court officers and court clerks put themselves in harm's way to such an extent that they suffered from smoke inhalation, and 7 of them had to be transported to the hospital, while 2 others received medical treatment and assistance on the scene. Whereas the decisive actions of these brave individuals preserved the safety and well-being of the general public and the judges and court staff of the Kings County Criminal Court, and facilitated the court's ability to resume normal operations that very evening. Now, therefore, the Chief Judge and the Chief Administrative Judge, on behalf of the New York State Unified Court System, do hereby proclaim our deep pride and sincere gratitude to the men and women of Kings County Criminal Court for their valor and their decisive actions on the afternoon of May 10th, 2017. Thank you.
So at this point, we are going to present the individual citations to our members of service, who Chief Administrative Judge Marks mentioned. I'm going to ask each to individually come up to receive their citation and receive congratulations from our esteemed dais here. First, I'd like to invite up First Deputy Chief Clerk Antonio Diaz. We can move the slide down so we can get a picture. If that's okay. Thank you, Tony. Our next citation goes to Kenneth Fay. Thank you, Kenny. Our next citation is awarded to Sergeant John Hart. Thank you, Sergeant Hart. Next citation is awarded to Sergeant Joseph Scafidi. Thank you, Sergeant Scafidi. Next citation is awarded to Court Officer Thomas Sorolla. Thank you, Officer Sorolla. The next citation is awarded to Court Officer Anthony Morgan. Thank you, Officer Morgan. The next citation is awarded to Court Officer Darian Wagner. Thank you, Officer Wagner. The next citation is awarded to Court Officer Edward Rossiello. Thank you, Officer Rossiello. The next citation is awarded to Court Officer Shaquan Gardner. Thank you, Officer Gardner. And last but certainly not least, our next citation is awarded to Court Officer Thomas Hickey. Thank you, Officer Hickey. So you can take your seats. Thank you very much. Before we conclude our program, I'd like to ask Chief Michael Magliano to unveil the service bars, which are going to be distributed to each member of court officer staff in this building.
Good afternoon, everyone. Standing here in this lobby brings back nothing but fond memories, because this is where I began my court career along with Chief Joe Barcelleri. And I wear a unit citation bar, as does he, from 1984. I was proud and honored to wear it then, as I am today, and I'm sure Joe is as well. I'd love to unveil, it's my privilege and honor, a citation bar that each member of the uniformed force will be receiving. They're being made. We should have them hopefully in a couple of weeks. But this is the rendition of it, and I would love to display it for you right now.
And that concludes our program, but before you go, again, very privileged to have Pat Cullen and Dennis Quirk here. Both of their unions have presented us with a lunch that you're all invited to attend. It's going to be up on the 5th floor, I believe in the DAT part. So thank you very much to the Court Officers Association and the Supreme Court Court Officers Association. Thank you very much for attending. Again, our deep appreciation to the staff and judges of Brooklyn Criminal Court.